Good morning. Happy Thursday. All right. We are going to wait a moment. Well, I'm going to talk to you, but we're waiting for my friend Natalie to join us. There she is. Let me add her in. There we go. Normally we're having these conversations on Friday, but I will be on an adventure starting tomorrow. So here we are today. Hello, friend.
Hello, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm so good.
So excited. Okay, so let's just jump right in. No need to waste any time. Let me just give a little background, and then Natalie and I are going to chat, and you all get to benefit from that. So that's that's what's happening here today. So Natalie and I met. Well, it seems like the universe wanted us to meet one way or another. We actually met through a social media coach that we were both using. And through that community, but we were actually also in the same network marketing company. So we have a lot of the same connections through that avenue. So eventually we were supposed to meet. And Natalie has created this business that is a community. And I'm a part of that community. And it's been so much value. Oh, thank you, Angie, you sweetheart. I've just gotten so much value, not only out of what's offered in there from Natalie and the other business owners and entrepreneurs and women that are in there, but just knowing that there's a community of support there that Natalie has built has been incredible. And so I get the opportunity to speak with Natalie and her community pretty regularly when she does Instagram lives. But I want to make sure that you all get to hear more from her about this community she's created, this business, what it's all about, how she landed on creating this business. Because I think a lot of times we have these ideas of what we want our business to look like, and it's hard. We maybe have a vision, but it's also hard to see how we're going to get there and what the path and the journey will look like. And we can't learn all of that today from Natalie, but we can learn a lot. So yeah, and now Natalie and I have not met in person yet, but I definitely consider her a close friend and someone that I know I can always reach out to and connect with and share like you would with the bestie when you're on a wine date or a coffee date or a walk date. Okay, enough gushing. Let's just start with, so I want you tell us about yourself. And yeah, I'll probably weave some questions in there, but start with tell us about yourself and how business and being an entrepreneur kind of came about in your world. Let's start there.
Oh my gosh, how long do we have? 5 hours? Um, okay, thank you. First off, thank you so much for having me join you on a live. This is something that I rarely do on my personal account. I don't know why, not personal, but my coachy account. And I don't know why. So you're starting the trend here with me. Yeah, so how did I start? How did this all get started? Well, okay, so I always say that I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, right? So I can't let that slip by, because literally in terms of education, in terms of I went to university, but I did a double major in theater studies and sociology. I was if I can come out of school being able to attend a dinner party, I will be good. And then I was I'm going to be an actress, and I moved to the city. I lived in the suburbs. I moved to Toronto. I started, my acting career, and even in my acting career, I found myself gravitating more towards, I was doing group sales for a theater company. I created my own theater company, and I produced my own show, and I just found myself falling into the business side of things as well as the acting and performance, but really not liking it much when I was only acting. Really wanted to be involved in the business. And so that was, fantastic. And I always say the best thing to come out of, my theater career was my husband, because I met him doing Second City, and absolutely loved everything about that, but was not interested in the industry at all. And so moved on to start my own business. And my first business was a retail store, my first real business. I had businesses growing up. It was very encouraged by my parents to have part-time businesses, and as well as part-time jobs, as well as do really well in school. Like we were busy kids, right? But these are the conversations that we had. We had conversations about business, about how it looked, about like the ins and outs and the real and the not great and the great. Um, and so when I opened my first retail store at 28 years old, I did it feeling like I knew everything, okay? Because I had grown up in that world. And I was literally just embarking upon the journey of starting to know everything, right? So I did that, failed spectacularly, loved every second of it, also hated every second of it, came out of that just wanting to understand how do you succeed in business? Because it's not the way that I did it, right? It's not the way that I did it. And I did follow in my parents' footsteps, but there was a lot of things that I still needed to learn on my own that I couldn't learn just by watching, right? So coming out of that, I decided that is the last time I will ever give my entire life to a business, right? That's not what business is. And I also decided that I come first, right? So I need to be happy. I need to be healthy in order to be successful. And I was literally getting on a treadmill one day in my effort to find more happiness and health, right? I was at rock bottom. I had crashed, I had burned, I was at rock bottom, and I was getting on a treadmill in our like condo building, and I was like, I just want to meet other women who are happy and healthy and want to talk about business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the idea of Happy Healthy Women came about. So it was not even an intention to make it a business, but then my brain, like then, so I started it, it happened, and then my brain started to be like, this can be a business, and this can be a business, and this can be a business. And then it became a business. And here we are 10 years later.
I just want to back up for a minute
Yeah.
and say, there was a part in there where you were like, I started my first real business. Okay, let's just say, for all the women out there, especially if you're raising little girls, if you are a parent, you're raising little girls, all of those businesses count, right? Like everything that seems little or insignificant, I love that your parents encouraged you to do that. And I hope that other parents are encouraging their children, just whether you have daughters or sons or whatever.
Yeah.
Encourage them to do that, because the seed was planted early, right? Like you came from a family of entrepreneurs, but they also encouraged you. So all of those experiences led to the decision to start your first business. And what a learning opportunity. I think I'll say for myself, my dad started his own business in outside sales, like windows and doors and trim for new builds, when I was in middle school. And he had worked in that industry for a while. It's not what he went to school for, but like that's what he had done. And he started his own business. And what I saw was like, I don't ever want to be an entrepreneur if like it's going to cause the kind of stress that, I mean, I feel like my dad worked all the time, whether he was in the office, on the road, at home, he would get home late, but it was also like heavy stress because you had to then you had to be the person that made sure people paid you, and you had to send them to collections, and were you going to be able to pay everyone? Are you offering benefits, right? There's so many stressful things from what I saw. And maybe it's similar, maybe the brick and mortar business you had, there were some similar pieces there. I'd love for you to talk about that too. But I know for me, initially, I was like, I don't ever want to be an entrepreneur if like, it's going to cause an ulcer, lots of stress, but the beauty is there's so much opportunity and so many different avenues to take as an entrepreneur. So like, tell us how you went from owning a business that was like location-based brick and mortar style business to, while you are finding your health and your happiness, creating a business that is so different in structure. I'd love more about that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, so okay, let me think about this. I've never answered this question before. Okay, here's the biggest thing, right?
Okay.
Here's the biggest thing. For the first time ever, because I grew up in the exact same household, right? Like parents were stressed running their business, right? And I mean, sometimes I'm stressed running my business. This comes with the territory when you're an entrepreneur. But I won't say that stress is unique to entrepreneurs. Like everyone's stressed. Pick your stress, right? Pick your stress and then learn how to deal with it. But I will say that when I made the conscious effort to take care of me and start to tune in and start to understand, like I started to understand that, okay, even though I'm, early 30s at this point, like life is still short and I still want to make it good. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to live that life, right? And so that's when I said, okay, I've done that and I don't want that. So what do I want, right? And so it was literally just like one foot in front of the other of like reading this book and then implementing that. Starting to grow myself, personal growth and development. Again, doing the things that make me happy. If it meant like going to the corner and having a coffee, that a latte that was nice and luxurious, and that's what that meant. If it meant taking care, I had to take care of my shit. Like I was in a lot of debt when I closed that first store. I was an inch away from bankruptcy, and that meant going to see a financial advisor at the local bank and bringing him a box of muffins and saying, please help me because I do not want to go bankrupt. Like that's the stuff that meant, right? So all of that, led me to like following what I want and leaving behind what I don't want.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the biggest thing is that if we tune into that, especially as women in business, if we tune into that, we are so powerful, right? We are so powerful, and tuning into that piece of service that lights us up, that fulfills us. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah.
in terms of the model, I started to, and I was in network marketing at the time, right? And so that was giving me a huge education in how business could be done in a completely different way, other than sitting in a store and waiting for people to come in and buy stuff.
Oh my gosh, there's so much there. There's so many things I want to continue. Okay, let me pull my brain together. Okay, so my first thought was, and maybe you answered this question by mentioning that you had your network marketing business. So when you decided to close down your brick and mortar business and you're close to bankruptcy and you're figuring out what that looks like, how you have to like crawl back up, how did you not get stuck in like, holy shit, I need an income like right now, or I'm going into a dark hole? Because I feel like that's a place where a lot of business owners get really stuck. They're like, okay, I'm not turning a profit yet. I just feel like the money thing, obviously we have to have money to survive, right? We have to have money. We're in business because we want to make money. We want to make an impact. We want to do something great, but we want to make money. So when you were in that space, if you have a recollection of like, was your network marketing business enough to like help float some of that financially? Yeah, just like tell us a little bit more about that, because that's definitely something. I know that's a fear, but that's a reality, right?
Yeah.
The financial situation can be really limiting. So tell me more about what that was like, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So yeah, I had to figure things out. I had to pull strings. So first I had to talk with, I was my husband now, but he was my boyfriend at the time and we were living together. And I said, all right, shit's hit the fan and I need your help. So he was like, I'm here. But don't like we were both kind of in like getting by mode. Like it wasn't like we were like he was raking it in or
Yeah.
like it was just like we are getting by. We are living paycheck to paycheck. I need your paycheck to stretch to cover my paycheck now, right? Like that's where we were. So I was like, all right. And then in a ton of debt that I needed to find a way to pay off. My network marketing business was starting to get to a place where it was maybe giving me like around $2,000 a month, right? Which was helping for sure. And then the rest of it, I was like, Mom, Dad, I got to come back to work. Like I got to work at your business so that I can get by. And that's, that's how that worked. Or I was like picking up cash jobs or trying to just trying to, I believed in myself as an entrepreneur. Just because I had fallen didn't mean that I wasn't a good entrepreneur.
Yes.
So
Yes.
going to, get a 9 to 5 and giving up wasn't an option ever. It wasn't even a thought in my brain. It was like, no, okay, that didn't work, but that's something else will. And so I'm going to go with it.
I love this reminder that there are resources out there to float us through, whether it's I think of myself as well. Like, I know I have resources with family that I could always turn to if I needed to. And I know not everyone has that, like not everyone has that kind of resource available in those situations, but there are resources out there. And I love the scrappy mentality of like, this is not a reflection of me. It's just what it is. Businesses don't always work the way we think they're going to, but there's always something to learn from this. And I know I am a great entrepreneur, and now I just have to find the right fit for that entrepreneurial spirit and desire, and then figuring out a way to make it work, taking this job or this job or this job, whatever that might look like, to float the in between.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. And now tell me more about, what that transition looked like. Like, how did you get Happy Healthy Women? How did you turn that idea into a business?
Yeah. And so, and just on that last note, I will say this is coming to mind. Tony Robbins says all the time, it's not that there's ever a lack of resources, it's that we fail to see our resourcefulness, is that there's a lack of resourcefulness. And resourcefulness is something that anyone can tap into at any time. So let's keep that in mind. Abundance is everywhere. We just have to find it, right? But how did I go from the ideas into creating this business? Well, what I started to do was, so I gathered like 5 people together over coffee for our first meeting. And it was like, I started a Happy Healthy Women, you're a Happy Healthy Woman. I really wanted to be, or like, it was just this like little like thing. And then I was like, okay, should we do this again in 2 weeks? Okay, let's do this again in 2 weeks. So then we started to make it consistent. And then from that, like, and I was not bringing in any money from it at this point. It was just free meetings. And then I was learning a lot from the personal growth and development world through network marketing, through all the seminars and coaching that we were going through the books I was reading. And I was like, maybe I should do like a workshop on what I've learned. So then I just tapped into that courage and was like, okay, I'm going to just share this as a workshop and see where it goes. And then I realized, okay, I'm good at giving workshops. And so that started to lead places. And that actually started to lead to women trusting me as a person and as a business person and doing business with me as a result. And then I thought, okay, this is a product. Like, this is something. Like, this idea of getting up, standing in your leadership, showing up in your courage to present something about your knowledge is a product, because it leads to transformation. It leads to gaining clients. It leads to sales. So can I package this product? And that's what I did, right? So I just started to see opportunity in the things that I was starting to offer and how it was going to benefit someone else. And that's how I started to design it. And then I was sharing this yesterday in the Beautiful Business Program. So we do like a 90-day roadmap. And it's a roadmap I used. So I literally sat down. Once all these like thoughts started flowing to my head, I sat down and I just drew it out on a big whiteboard. Okay, this is a product. This is right. And when I say product, I just mean this is something that I could sell and exchange for value, right, in my business. And that's how it was born. And my first membership was $150 for Trailblazing for the whole year. And people were like, okay, I'll pay for that. And I was like, okay. And I was so excited. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, just made $150.
Yes.
And so, and it grew from there, and then courage, and then confidence, and then, and we're still growing. Right. So yeah. Does that answer that?
I love it. I love all of that. I love the like sitting down and brainstorming and figuring out how what you offer can add value to others, then how you can monetize it. I think this just makes me think of the conversation that happens a lot of people are afraid, well, women specifically, it seems, are afraid to admit that we want to make money, or to even let on that something that we are putting together is going to financially benefit us. So I love this reminder of how can you offer value to address a pain point, or give someone a desired outcome, or help them solve a problem, while you're also creating the financial stability for yourself. So I feel like that could be, maybe I wait and have that conversation with Angie about money mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
around
your
all of
girl.
that.
She's your girl.
Um, so tell us more then. Happy Healthy Women has been around for 10 years. Tell us what it looks like now. Like, what does, yeah, I want to make a lot of money too.
I know, I love that.
Say it out
Me too,
loud.
girl. Yeah.
What does Happy Healthy Women look like now? And for the folks that are tuning in that don't know about Happy Healthy Women, you've already given us some information, but like, tell us more about what it looks like now, how it has expanded, what it offers, and who's in there. Tell us more. Like, just brag, just brag about yourself and what you've created. I want you to just do that right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I am comfortable in
Yes.
this. So okay, we have gone from 5 women over coffee to a global community of thousands and thousands of women. Yes. We are a movement. We are women who lock arms, and we're women at different stages of life, different phases of business, different all these different things. But those who choose to step into leadership with us are standing among a line of women who are locking arms, and each of us have our own unique gifts, talents, skills, knowledge that we've taken from all of our lives that we've brought to this moment. And we all lock arms in this moment and we move forward and we share this knowledge, this expertise, this empowerment, this support, this love with the women who come into contact with us in Happy Healthy Women. And as a result, those women then go and they change their lives and they change their relationships and they change their businesses and they make more money and they live better.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a result, they create a ripple effect and other people doing the same. So we are literally changing the world every time a new person signs up for Happy Healthy Women or joins, even free membership, even that, we are changing the world. And it looks different for for everyone in their own place, right? So if it's someone who is wanting to learn more about business, get into community, be a part of something, they can join us as a wellpreneur. If they're wanting to step in and lead and grow their business and they know they've got something to offer, I mean, we all have something to offer, but these women are ready for leadership. They step in as a trailblazer like you have and kill it, right? And grow based on what you're sharing and all of the knowledge and expertise. We have women who are starting local branches in their area because that is so key, especially now after the last 3 years of whatever that was. We know that we need to hug each other and love each other and see each other. And then, in addition to that, I coach as a CEO. I coach women who want to go from solopreneur mindset, business, money to CEO mindset, business, money. And then we also have retreats. There's something happening all the time in this community, but it's so awesome. I don't even know why any woman would not want to be a part of it.
That was so good. And I love what's happening in the chat. Oh my gosh. It's so true that the ripple effect, when we feel supported and encouraged and like what we have to offer is valuable and that we are valuable and valued, the ripple effect of how that, okay, here we go. I am an open book. So in grad school,
yeah,
I proposed I wanted to do a PhD. So when I was in grad school for my master's, I wanted to do a PhD on the female orgasm. And my proposal was that there's all these studies on, I swear I'm going to come back to everything this is going to make sense.
Yeah.
The proposal was based on the idea that there's research to show that when women can't reach orgasm on their own, that there are physiological interventions where you have surgical procedures. Usually that's the first option. Anyway, and my background is in sports medicine, so this is where this is all coming from. And then the other interventions were all psychological, and they were usually done in like their own silo. Like we could either do a surgical intervention or we could do a psychological, go to therapy and figure it out. And what I wanted to do was combine the two, but not do surgery, do like pelvic floor rehabilitation, like teach women how to be in tune with their bodies physiologically and psychologically. Like this is what I wanted to do because all the research showed that when women can reach orgasm on their own or with a partner, that they are more productive and happier people in every aspect of their life. Now, relating back to what you're saying here, this reality that when women feel like they have control of who they are and what they have to offer, and they feel valued and they feel empowered and they know that their voice is heard and that they're respected, and that doesn't need to come from an external source. But when we are surrounded by other women who are continuing to say, yes, yes, I see you, you have value, you're offering incredible things, that ripples out into, so like all the research around orgasm had shown that like women, from the psychological research that had been done, they perform better at work, they are more calm at home, they're happier with their partner, whatever the circumstance, like everything, right? So I love this reminder that when we can build community with other women at whatever age, and I would say especially now, I'm almost 40, and I think it's more important now. Like I've always appreciated my my groups of female friends, like always. They have always been, but more so now. Now in at almost 40, I'm like, oh, that's like my lifeline. I'm going this weekend on a backpacking trip with 3 girlfriends, and I'm like, I can hardly wait to get out the door. I'm going to make a playlist of songs to listen to and just lots of that. It's just so important. And the fact that you've created a whole community around it and figured out a way to monetize it so you have a business while also just rippling this value, it just gets me so excited. Okay, let me pull it back together. What is your favorite part? Like, what's your favorite part of your business? Because you just bragged about yourself and all the amazing things that have come from this beautiful business you've created, a business you love, a community of women that is global. But like, what is your favorite part?
Of what I get to do,
Yeah.
or what I get to see?
Oh, God. You answer. You decide.
Well, okay, so I'll say both. So what I get to do, my favorite part about what I get to do is teach women the secrets that I have learned that they don't have to take 20 years to figure out.
Yes.
And just really teach and love on people. They're like, teaching and love go hand in hand for me. Like I can't teach without like saying I love you and like just gushing and having close relationships with the people that I'm teaching, so that I know that they get it and I know that they are going to implement it for themselves and move forward. Like, I don't know, these relationships with the people even that I'm coaching is so precious, right?
Yeah.
So teaching and loving at once. And then what I get to see are, like, you know, we've had women, I've seen women come in that are like coming out of terrible relationships or coming out of jobs that, you know, either they downsized and they, you know, they were fired, or they left themselves because they were burnt out or something that wasn't lighting them up, and they come and they're, you know, they're quiet and they're sort of sitting in the corner and they're not sure. They're like, well, who are all these women that are like loving on each other? Like, what is this? I've never been in this before. And then like in 4 months, they are wearing bright colors, they're speaking loudly, they're shining brighter, they are tapping in and tuning into themselves. And it's that ripple effect that you're talking about that lights me up, because it means to me, and we all want to feel significant in life, and that is my significance. That gives me purpose. That makes me feel like, okay, I'm making a mark on this world. I don't care if I don't need to be famous. I don't need 7 billion followers. I just want to know that I'm making a mark. And I get to know that every day. And that's my favorite part.
So good. Oh. I just love this conversation.
Me
I wish we lived in the
too.
same place so we could just go out and have coffee and love on each other. Oh, God. Okay.
Are you moving to Toronto, or am I moving to Montana? Which one is it?
Oh, Lord. I mean, I do love to travel. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of that recently, you know, mom of a small child and pandemic, but maybe there's the Toronto trip in the future. Okay, so now that I feel like all fired up, and I hope everyone who's watching does too, just to like go do all the beautiful things. Tell us what you see happy, healthy women looking like in the next 10 years. Like, I'm certain that's something that you've thought about, that you visualize? Like, what does it look like moving forward? What do you want the next expansive evolution to look like of Happy Healthy Women?
Yeah. So branches all over the world, um, like through every country, and us shining our light in so many different ways, right? The way that we shine our light here, as women in business, is going to look completely different than the way that we do that in Tanzania, for
Yeah.
example, right? And so, that I know is on us as leaders, me specifically, to learn, to grow into, to make my way into. So I've got a lot of growth and learning ahead of me to do that. But that's definitely happening, and a big, beautiful team, right? Like, I've started to build an incredible team of people in my company, and it's really like honing in on that and nourishing that, and like holding team retreats and loving on that team, and just having a big, beautiful family grow that supports all of our clients, all of our members, all of these women stepping into their leadership. It takes a village, right? It takes a country to do this. And so really that is the goal, to see us across the world, and to be making our mark both internally and externally in the world.
Love it. I mean, okay. Is there anything, because I feel like there's so many conversations we could have here, and I will have you back on here to talk more. But for right now, is there anything else that you would want to share about entrepreneurship or building a business you love? Like any final thoughts on that, just for today? Not final thoughts, not the end, but like for today, anything else?
Yeah, I'm so fired up in my life right now, and well, always, but especially right now. And I just want to say, like, if you have any thoughts around starting something or growing something or building something where you are shining, like, just listen to that, tap into it, tune into it, and do it. Have the courage, muster up the courage within you, even if you have to be that scrappy entrepreneur that's, doing cash jobs here and working your butt off here. Just muster up the courage and the belief in yourself to keep going. Do not stop. Do not quit. Keep going. Act on all of your desires and all of your ideas. Some might work, some might not, but it doesn't matter. It's the person that you're becoming in the process. And just go. Do it. And if you need extra belief, come to Happy Healthy Women. We are here for you. But please don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the things that you really, really love, because you will just be so much happier, so much healthier, so much more fulfilled if you follow them.
I mean,
that's all.
Mic drop. Okay, so just go right now and find Happy Healthy Women. So you can go to Natalie's page, and then you can navigate to Happy Healthy Women from there. And then there's a Facebook group as well. And like Natalie mentioned, the Facebook group is free to be a part of, and there's incredible value in there. Such a great community. You can learn more about the different ways you can be a part of Happy Healthy Women, paid or otherwise. So just invest in that. I will say one of the best, I already mentioned, like, my girlfriends are so important to me, but one of the best investments that I continue to find in the businesses that I have owned over the past 10 years, 11 years, is the community building. So exactly what Natalie has created is you will, as a business owner, solopreneur, entrepreneur, however that looks in your world, whether you have employees or not, there will be times that you will feel like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm never going to succeed. And when you have that community to come back to, you can be reminded that, like, oh shit, yeah, I do. I know what I'm doing. I mean, maybe I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I figured it out. And so, like, build that community now before you feel like you need it, before you're in like that desperate position of like, oh my God. And maybe you're there now. So build the community now, like, be a part of it. Invest in it by engaging in Happy Healthy Women. And again, it doesn't mean, if you're at a place where like paying for something right now is not a reality, go in there and invest by engaging and interacting and learning about the other women and their businesses, and know that that community building is so enriching. Okay, so thank you, friend, for joining today and sharing your expertise and all the beautiful things that you've learned in your business growth. And I'm just so excited we get to continue to be connected and work together in a variety of ways. And I'll have you back again so we can chat more about maybe more specific things next time. I don't know. I have lots of ideas now.
This was amazing. This was a whirlwind. I love you so much, Emily. You are such an incredible leader and business person and woman and friend. I'm so grateful to have met you in that coaching program and see you now flourishing. And it's just so great to be on this journey. So thank you. I love you.
Well, I just love that we keep gushing back and forth. Okay.
I know. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Oh my God, you too. And thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll see you next week.